If you think about the podcast episode, you hear me work with live volunteers and show them how to use their own mind to release their pain or create incredible changes using their own mind. Now, you hear me at the end of every single podcast, you'll hear me say, it does take real change, that they need to follow through. Now, this is what's beautiful, and this is what happened on the last episode, is you'll recall I was working with our beautiful volunteer, Wild. And as I was, you may recall that part of her had this feeling inside that she felt guilty about receiving, but she also felt jealous, like others would be jealous, and she felt jealous as well. Now, what we ended up talking about was also that when we feel a certain way, it can show up in our actions and it can perpetuate the problem. And I see this all of the time. For example, let's say that somebody has had a pattern of abandonment. So they feel abandoned or rejected over and over. Now, what might happen is in a relationship, they might show up with a lot of insecurity or afraid to connect with people, or even neediness or jealousy or whatever that is. That can, of course, push other people away. Or they have a feeling of expecting people to reject them, so then they never really connect, and then they don't feel included, etc., etc. My point being is that the patterns that you have that are affecting your health, your life, your relationships, well, everything. So often these patterns have subtle or even big. They're connected to actions that you may not realize that you're making that then further perpetuate the problem over and over and over. And sometimes it can end up in ways that you may not see it. And so my point is just simply this, is that so often I'll see people who, of course, are doing the positive thinking or the meditation or the visualization and all those things, but they're not really changing the patterns. But when we really change the patterns and then we go deep into the transformation, so we change the pattern all of the way, it changes who we are. It's a real transformation. It changes how we think, how we feel, how we perceive things, and also the way that we show up in life.